Hey, TikTok. Hey, welcome to the Art of Relationship show, people. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. I know everybody stressed out over the election and everything, but let's get back into relationships and marriage and, let's face it, dating aspects, especially today, when going to be talking about some tips to get back into the dating realm if you want to after a divorce, after a breakup, right? Devastating, and I got some tips that are going to help you out to get you realigned a healthier relationship, like I said, down the road after a breakup or divorce. Okay, welcome to the Art of Relationship show. And before I kick it off, remember, you can throw your comments, your chats down below, people, wherever you're listening, on whatever platform you're listening on, okay? So I want you to be able to get ready, wide awake. Let's have a little fun and gain some maybe insights into moving and healing and getting a better love, more connected love as you go around, okay? So don't go anywhere. The intro is right now, people, so don't go anywhere. And we're back after the intro. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey, Nicole, Brandy, Charles, I appreciate everybody joining in. And like I said, as always, join in the live chat down below and throw your questions out, okay? Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to do with the topic at hand, not at all. So anything regarding relationships, marriage, dating, yes, intimacy, those type of things as well, okay? And as people might not know, I'm Greg Dudzinski, fully licensed professional counselor here in Michigan, Metro Detroit, and been doing this professionally for 22 years now. I'm a relationship sex specialist and also a lot of grief and trauma experience as well, helping people out. That's my passion. I want to be able to help people to heal from broken hearts, okay? They're the worst, but also get more connected in the relationship that you've always wanted, dreamt of, that type of thing. Again, I don't blow smoke up anyone's booties, not at all. And it's realistic, right? We have to be realistic. Nothing is perfect, not at all, okay? And it's very difficult, even after a divorce, even after a breakup, and people are talking about, are you dating again? And you're like, oh my God, I want to run and hide, right? It's not easy. It can be scary for a lot of people, especially if you got out of, say, a breakup or a divorce, and it was very abusive. And it's scary if you got cheated on, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, wife, whatever, right? And we know now just as many, approximately just as many women cheat as men do. Never justified, never condoned, not at all, okay? So that's where I want people to be able to look at. Oop, I forgot to go live on Instagram. Oop, 1 second, people. So I did that last week too. I apologize. So it's very difficult if you've been through there. Most people have been through at least a breakup in their life, right? Not everybody's been through a divorce, but a lot of people have, right? And you're looking at, damn, I don't want to ever date again. I don't want to go through that. I don't want my heart ripped out. I don't want, excuse me. I don't want my heart ripped out. I don't want it stepped on. Not at all. Or people go into a new relationship, a new, maybe even a marriage, living with someone, and, they're still carrying a lot of the hurt, baggage. They haven't healed from the past, right back here, relationship or past divorce. Hey, Katie, what's happening? What's going on? Kelvin, I appreciate you joining in. Like I said, people, go ahead and put that in that, anything I could do, okay, to help people out, to help you to get healthier down the road, okay? So throw your questions out. Now, one thing people look at, you look at taking time, right? And a lot of people will look at, they went through a divorce and went through a bad breakup, okay? And you look at that some people, they'll be in right here in my office and they carry stuff from the old relationship into the new one, and they're treating their new partner like, let's face it, right? Like that new partner is the one that cheated on them, that ripped their heart out. And there's a lot of insecurities. There's a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, but it's not fair for the new person if they're not the one that hurt us, okay? And I get it. It's not easy, but we have to look at, do we heal that aspect, right? So a lot of people also, they're devastated from a divorce or a breakup because now they're alone. Maybe they weren't happy before, but at least you're not alone, right? So a lot of people look at, oh my God, I got to hurry up and find somebody so I'm not alone. So I feel like I am, you know what? I feel safe or whatever. And they don't care if they get into a crappy, unhealthy, toxic relationship again, and they're wondering that rinse and repeat pattern that some people get into, okay? So that's where I want people to be able to understand, take your time, okay? Number one, take your time. Are you healed? You might not have to be healed 100%. No, like I told you, I'm a realist, right? But are you able to heal, and are you done with the situation to look at what is going on? And people throwing the politics out there, I don't want to get into politics and stuff. That's not what this show's about, okay? So, yeah, let's keep it to relationship, marriage, intimacy stuff too, and how you can improve your relationship, your marriage, those type of situations, okay? So, like I said, you have questions coming. I always said, throw them out, throw them down below, as long as they have to do with relationships, dating, marriage, intimacy, sex, that type of situation, okay? So, so say you take your time, you think you're healed. And this is where a lot of people will start, dating, whatever. Yeah, I'm healed, whatever. But then they start getting close to a new person, right? They maybe fell in love or thought they fell in love. And then the insecurities hit. And you're wondering, oh, that person, they're going to abuse me. They're going to cheat on me. They're going to rip my heart out. That tells me, are you really healed or not? Okay? Are you really healed from that past behavior? Again, doesn't have to be perfect. And let's be honest, say that new person is not doing anything wrong. You never caught them in a lie. You never caught them being overly flirtatious, her or him, with another person, right? All these things are in place. So you look at, now this is my issue. And now you want your person to be able to heal it and be okay with the way you treating them, like you're accusing them without any evidence, okay? And that person, you're wondering why they're distant or they're done with you. They want to break up, because that tells me you're not fully healed, okay? That's where I tell people, when you are tested, I don't want people to be tested, but we're going to be, right? It's part of life. That's where I want those situations to be able to look at, am I fully healed? And am I looking at my new person that they're not the one that is cheated on me, ripped my heart out. They're not the one that, physically, emotionally, mentally abused me, okay? So those are situations I tell people, it's not easy. I get that. I get that very much, okay? But again, look at those situations. Look at, where you're at, and look at, what, am I healed, or am I healed fully enough to be able to go through this and to be able to look at, yeah, I can go after a healthy relationship now, right? I'm over it. I know it was that person. But also, when I say about taking your time, I want you also to assess what you could have done to be a better person, a better partner in your past relationship. Because sometimes, say you were, maybe not a great partner, okay? Maybe a lot of people, you go through a divorce, you have kids, you're a great parent, great mother, great father, awesome. But then as a partner, you were crappy. Let's be honest. You weren't that good, okay? So that's where I want people to be able to look at, okay, what can I improve on that maybe I wasn't doing that best of a job as a partner to my former ex, okay? What can I do to go ahead and look at, being better? I can work on, maybe I had anger issues. Maybe I snapped too much. Maybe I got defensive too much. Whatever those aspects. So now is the time, when I said taking your time, you want to be able to look at that you don't fall back into those patterns again, okay? So work on those aspects and don't, necessarily rush into a situation because you feel alone or you feel like, you went through a divorce and you're not good enough, especially if you were the one that didn't want the breakup. You're the one that didn't want the divorce, but you also have to look at, what I was not getting from that prior marriage. It could be, feeling loved, desired, respected, important, a priority, and it went on for a long time. So those are the things I want you to be able to look at. I wasn't getting those, but now I want those things, but I'm also, can I do a better job at asking, not yelling, screaming, getting angry about it, but can I do a better job at asking? But, some people, they do a great job asking, they didn't get that. Some people will shut down, not want to rock the boat, and they don't bring up anything, how they're feeling, because they don't want to upset their partner. They don't want to anger them, tick them off. Those are the things I want you to be able to look at and be able to expand on and be able to improve when I say about taking your time, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Now, we can transition now into, after a marriage, after a breakup, say you're healing, right? You're pretty much healed. Now, you have to look at, and this also can be part of taking your time too, but knowing what you want. I ask couples in my office, like I said, right here. I'm in my office now, right behind me, if you can see. I ask people all the time, what do you need? What do you want to feel loved? What are your expectations of a happy, healthy relationship, okay? Not mine, okay? Everybody's different. Like people know, maybe you don't know, I work with all kind of couples, right? Different, lifestyle, sexual orientations, everything, right? Different cultures, religion, race. Most of my couples and clients I see, I'm flattered, are people of color, okay? So I love it. I'm very flattered. So everybody's different. It's what is important. What do you want now that maybe your past relationship or past marriage didn't have, or, that type of situation? What do you think you were missing that was important to you without selling yourself out, okay? And that's where it's very difficult and be able to look at, what? This is what I want different. I want someone that might be more affectionate. I want someone that's more sexual. I want someone that's more attentive. Or some people, oh my God, I want someone that's not so clingy, right? Everybody's different, and it's not a right or wrong. But now's the time to look at, what do you want? And part of this is, what I was really missing in the prior marriage or relationship was this. And I want this now. Maybe some people are constantly on the go, and you hated that. You wanted to relax once in a while. Now, you want that in your next relationship, okay? You have a better understanding what you want, and also not only what you want in that relationship, what you don't want. I don't want anyone that's abusive. I don't want anyone that cheats. I don't want anyone that is, not attentive to me. Some people don't even check on me. My past relationship or marriage, I can't remember the last time I was someone, my ex said, thank you to me. Or even maybe you want someone that takes accountability and they never said, I'm sorry. You know what, I screwed up, I'm sorry. So maybe you want someone that takes accountability. Now, hey, Enzo, Jeremy, what's going on, man? I appreciate everybody tuning in. So again, throw your questions, your comments down below, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. another disclosure I make is that, this does not substitute actual professional counseling, okay? In my office, I try to give very valid, research-based evidence to help people out there when I do the Art of Relationship show, to help people out as well, okay? But it does not replace actual, professional counseling, psychotherapy, if you will, that I do right behind me. I'm in my office, right? So that's where I want people to be able to look at and, center on what do I want different and what don't I want in a new relationship. And part of knowing what you want is also learning you better, right? What allowed you to maybe tolerate being in a relationship where you didn't have any affection and that was crucial to you? Or you were in a relationship where there was no intimacy, no sexual, physical intimacy at all. And you know what? That's not you. And you're supposed to, lying to yourself, oh, it's not that important to me. It's not a big deal to me because maybe, and I criticize other professionals that tell you, oh, that can't be that important to you. It shouldn't be. No, they don't live your life. You do. So it's looking at what's important to you and looking at, man, people, the kids, I was in that because of the kids, money. I was hoping it would change and it never did. The dangers, and I talked about this, you can check it out on YouTube at LoveGuruGreg too, and to be able to look at, oh my God, you know what? Selling yourself out, right? The dangers of potential. I thought she would be da-da-da-da-da. I thought he would change. You get me? So that's where I want you to look at, say you took your time to heal from that breakup, that divorce. Now you have a better, hopefully going into the next phase about looking at what do you really want? What is a healthy, happy relationship to you? And no, people, no, that doesn't mean you get your way all the time, right? No, we all would like it, but it's unrealistic, right? Maybe you want to be with someone that they were used to getting their way all the time, where they would pout like a toddler. They would throw a temper tantrum, get angry if he or she got angry all the time, so you gave in all the time. I'm not going to argue, so I'll just give them their way. And now you don't want that anymore. You get me? I'm just throwing out examples, okay? So that's where you have to look at what is important to you and what you want different in a new relationship, or if you want to get married again. And everyone's out there, oh, hell no, Greg, I'm not ever going to do that again. What am I, stupid? No. I want people to go after what they want, and I get that, okay? But I want people to have a fresh perspective, a healthier perspective, and learn yourself better, and also learn, what you weren't getting that is important to you, and, what you don't want in a future relationship or marriage, okay? Hey, Wanda, thanks so much, woohoo, for tuning in. And again, people, throw your comments, questions down below related to dating, marriage, yes, sex, intimacy, relationships. You might even throw out a little bit of parenting questions as well if you want to throw that in there. Step family dynamics. I do have I used to also work with severe trauma on kids and teens. I stopped that many years ago now, but I still work with, I do see trauma handpicked now with adults. So I do that as well, okay? So throw your questions out there, anything I can do to help with that. And part of knowing what you want, going forward is, and I touched on this, is about, are you able to communicate openly, right? Maybe you are afraid, and I touched on this, knowing what you want, what you don't want. But are you able to speak your mind? Let's be honest, be respectful. I'll tell people whatever I want, right? They're disrespectful, ratchety. No, we don't want that, right? But to be able to be respectful, and are you able to speak, hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? I don't feel loved by you. I felt disrespected when you did that. hey, I'd love more affection. I'd love you to kiss me more. I'd love more sex. I'd love, better sex, whatever that means. Are you able to communicate what is important to you, what you want in a relationship? Say that was a problem before. Or those people, like I gave an example, right? That, oh, I have no problem communicating, but you're ratchety, which means you're disrespectful. You're attacking instead of coming to your new person, okay? So a lot of people will go over the top. They will rip each other apart. I communicate fine. No, you don't. You're being mean. You're being disrespectful. And you're attacking your person. And that's something that we do not want for anybody out there as well. So are you able to communicate openly and honestly what is important to you, how you want to feel, and also maybe if something upsets you, are you able to do that instead of, you know what, I'm afraid to bring this up because I don't want an argument. That's part of the healing, like I said before, about taking your time at the beginning, that you're in a situation to where, you know what, someone gets angry, whatever, and that's all I heard. I got yelled at all the time, so that's a trigger and says, hey, slow down a little bit. Can you talk softer? Please don't yell. You get me? So that might be another way that you can communicate openly and more effectively. I like that term better, right? Be open, but also, let's face it, to be able to talk more effectively, that you're talking to your partner, with your partner, and not at your partner with anger, with rage. We're all human, right? Things happen. But are you able to communicate better, more effectively? Are you able to communicate in a healthier way than maybe you were in the past, okay? And no one's perfect. We all have issues, right? Those are situations. Hey, Melanie, woo-hoo! What's going on, Melanie? I appreciate you showing up. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a long time, man. I hope you're good. Peace and love to you. So, again, throw your questions, throw your comment down below, and I'll do the best I can to answer them, like I said, okay? Now, say you know what you want, you know what you don't want, you took your time to heal, okay, I worked on communication, I know I can be better at communicating, okay? Now you have to, let's be honest, okay? Where do you find people to date, right? The last 8 years, and it's actually getting closer, or, creeping closer to 9 years now, between 80 to 85% of people, depending what studies you look at and research platforms, 80 to 85% of couples over the last 8 years, approaching 9 years now, find people online in one form or another, okay? So you look at, online, that's what it is. I get couples and I'll ask them, oh, where'd you guys meet? I had a new couple yesterday in my office. Oh, we met actually in a bar. And I'm like, no kidding. I haven't heard that one in a long time. Old school, right? I don't care where people meet. I look at, just out of curiosity. So you look at what would be healthy for you. The dating apps, some people, right? Some dating apps suck. Some are good. You be open and honest. But with dating apps, let's be real. You don't know if the person has old dated pictures, right? If they're being real, if they're being legit, if they're being respectful, but you can learn, and it can be frustrating. Yes, I know, I'm honest. I have a lot of people that are in this situation that are dating or looking to date, and the dating world sucks, okay? You just have to be positive. You try to weed out as far as compatibility, right? And what platforms do you look for? Maybe there are dating groups on social media, right? On Facebook, it might be one. Like-minded people. If you're religious, if you're atheist, do you want to date an atheist? Are atheist dating groups? So you look at, different platforms, and you just got to look at what is best for you. I don't know if one fits or is more better than the other one, okay. And, we could get on a list and no, I'm not getting, paid or sponsored by any of them now, right? And that I've been asked to sponsor a few of them, but I think it's got to be careful because there's a lot of bias with that as well, right? So, I get sponsored by whatever dating app, and they think, oh, Greg thinks that one's the best because he's sponsoring it. So I think there's a lot of injustice that can be done on certain dating apps based on who's sponsoring them, and they might not be the best. It's just that person is sponsoring them. So I sort of am very, very cautious about that situation, okay? As I take a drink of water. Okay, thanks, people. So you look at, what platforms. There's meetup groups. I bring those up once in a while, right? Maybe, you find meetup.com, check them out. No, I'm not getting sponsored by them either. But there are a lot of groups that are like-minded people. And I mentioned this a long time ago, right? There might be gardening meetup groups, right? There might be business meetup groups, philosophy meetup groups, maybe rescue that are in the pet rescue meetup groups, that type of thing, right? That you can look, and there are meetup single groups too. Musicians, artists, almost every facet of hobby or interest. And that's another way you can meet people too that you might click with and might find your next love. So that would be an option as well that you can check that in, okay? So that's where I want people to look at, okay, compatibility, remember, you know what you're looking for, and also maybe certain events that you can check out and run into other people, different maybe exhibits, different expos, different all kind of stuff. And of course, like I said, 80 to 85% of couples over the last 8 to 9 years now, they meet online one way or another, okay? So it's looking at what is important to you and check out what platform might work best for you. Some of them have free trials, absolutely. And I did mention the meetup groups, right? And we still have the old school, which I'm a little leery of because the old school way, you said the bar, or I said the bar earlier, but I'm talking another old school way. You have friends, family, cousin, sister, brother, whatever, that want to hook you up with somebody they know. Oh, they're single. You'd be a great match. But, you meet up and all this stuff, and it can be awkward if you don't meet up, right? So a lot of people, oh, no, we didn't meet up. Be adults, be respectful. We just click, we can be cordial. But it's hard when one person really likes the new person, the other one doesn't like them at all. And now, the people that hooked you up, if you will, are a little awkward, and it can be very awkward, uncomfortable situations, especially when there's a social gathering, a birthday party, a kid's birthday party, an anniversary party, even like a barbecue get together, watching football on a Sunday, whatever it is, right? So it can be a lot of awkwardness, but I tell people, be mature, be adults. Yeah, we didn't click, no big deal. And a lot of people, why didn't you like me? Why didn't you like me? And there's that drama involved. So that's where I tell people that can be not a bad way, but I want people to look at consequences as well and looking at where that goes, okay? Again, it's not a right or wrong, and some options out there, okay? Now, how many people also, when you look at, excuse me, how good were your boundaries in a prior relationship, okay? How good were they when you broke up? Were you a doormat? Were you maybe selling yourself out, that you were compromising your self-love and self-respect, maybe in your past relationship? And this also can go into what you don't want. Maybe you didn't say anything when your partner would come home at 3, 4, 5 in the morning, right? And you're like, oh my God, that's disrespectful, but I'll just shut up. I don't want to be that nagging wife, that nagging girlfriend, that nagging husband or jealous husband or boyfriend stereotype, right? But these are a time where you also look at, what your boundaries are and, are those healthy for you? Like I said, that's part of the communication, also part of what you don't want and maybe what you want in a future relationship that you can say, hey, you doing that hurts me. You doing that disrespects me and disrespects my relationship. And that's part of looking at what you want, but you also need to talk about what your expectations are, what you're looking for, what you don't want in another relationship. And that's why I said, even on a first date, or a first phone call, people text, we'll meet up, a first phone call. First, say, hey, what are your expectations? What are you looking for? And we know people lie, right? Oh, I want a relationship, whatever. And they're only looking to hook up, right? And that's not what, hey, Holly, what's going on? Sky, baby, woohoo. Everybody, I appreciate everybody tuning in and watching the show. And that's where, those aspects are, that's where I'm all about. Get it out of the way about expectations, right? And a lot of people, certain social media groups I get invited to, and I get bashed for even talking about, hey, not that you have to get into specifics. Are you a sexual person? And a lot of people, oh my God, I would never want to be asked that on a first date, second date. No way. I'm not talking getting in the graphic situations. But why can't you just say yes or no? Yeah, I am, by the way. No, I'm not. I'm looking. That's important to me, right? But people can talk about, what's important to you. Yeah, I want another kid. I don't want any more kids. They can talk about that, but they don't talk about or even ask, hey, is sex important to you? I'm like, get it out of the way. Why waste that other person's time? Why waste your time? So these are part of, your deal breakers. And I say boundaries, but it's also, expectations tied into what you're looking for, what you won't. And part of your boundaries might be that, oh, my new person, oh, I have to be okay, don't have boundaries. They're talking bad about me to their mom. They're talking bad to me about their dad, their brother, sister, cousin, friends. Oh, you know what? Everyone needs to vent. Yes, we do. But there's a difference between venting and bashing, degrading, belittling our person to other people, okay? So that's where you look at, what type of boundaries would you like for you two in a new relationship going into it after a divorce, after a breakup that you're healed and everything else? What boundaries would you like to have in place for the relationship, for, living together, marriage, whatever, down the road, remarriage? What boundaries are you looking for? And a lot of people will look at when our hearts get ripped out and all of a sudden their boundaries are so rigid, okay? They're cemented, they're rigid, and there's no flexibility. So you're looking at, they're going to be, it's like controlling. They're going to be this way. I won't accept anything else. But you lose a little bit of flexibility. You lose about taking that other person into consideration. You want them to abide by all your expectations and boundaries and rules. But what about that person's? You get me? So that is something to be able to look at. Yeah, I got boundaries, I got expectations, and that new person will meet them. They'll be this way. I'm like, wait a minute. Did you ever think of maybe what they want? What's important to them too? That there's a compromise, that you can evolve and grow together. So remember, when it's coming from what you want, setting boundaries, remember to take that new person into consideration. What do they want? What are they looking for as well? And what's important to them so you can work together, right? Tell people one person wants this, one person wants this. Can you work together and evolve and reach a happy medium? That type of situation. But a lot of people will go through, I get it, if their heart got ripped out, all of a sudden they're so rigid in their boundaries and they're so cemented. I will not, and they're like controlling, and I get it. It's part of protecting their heart and soul again. I get that. But it's not healthy if you're not taking that other person into consideration. It's all what you want, how things affect you. Well, I went through this. That's why I'm this way. That doesn't mean that new person has to tolerate it or be okay with that, okay? So part of the boundaries and part of your expectations and knowing what you want, it's also taking that new person into consideration. Or, let's face it, you will be a rude person. Might not be that cool of a person, right? Not considerate, selfish, whatever adjectives you want to throw up there, okay? So I'm being real. So those are things I want you to be able to look at, those situations, okay? And one thing also, before I let everybody go, well, there's two things, okay? In the dating realm, whatever, you have people, you know, some people don't have a healthy support system. They might not have good, healthy friends. They might not have, you know, maybe close relationship with a brother, sister, cousin, whatever. And it's looking at that support system can help, you know. Yeah, I get you're scared. I get that. You know, they might want what's best for you, which is great. Are you happy? Are you healthy? Do they make you feel good about yourself? Those are great questions. But if people, you know, don't tolerate this. They're too short and bald. That won't work, you know. It's more about them than it is supporting you. So I want you to be able to look at what your, you know, support mechanism is and use them, okay? They can be a great, hey, I'm nervous, I'm scared. I don't want my heart ripped out again. And that's where you know, are you able to separate those insecurities from your gut instinct? And, you know, you might really like somebody off the jump, excuse me, but your gut saying, your heart's like, oh my God, I'm all in. And your gut's saying, well, wait a minute, what's going on? You get me? So that's where that support mechanism can come in. And how many people out there, maybe I'm going to throw women under the bus, no disrespect, and I love women out there as well. Very respectful, okay? I work with a lot of individual women. But a lot of women, you know, they want that guy that always takes charge, that is, you know, sort of boss, takes charge, makes all the decisions. And then they might be assholes. They might be, you know, really controlling. It's all about them, selfish, and I hear this word, everybody hears it, right? Oh, I think they're narcissistic. You know, it's great. That's what you wanted. You fell into that, right? But now, a year, 5 years later, you're like, oh my God, they're a jerk. They're narcissistic. They're controlling. And I'm looking, not puzzled, not surprised. Isn't that what drew you to them to begin with, right? And I sort of laugh, but in a respectful manner. I get it. I understand that. So that's where I want women to understand, you know, you want that take charge. You want that narcissistic, you know, attitude. Oh, I love him. Take charge. But then how many people play the victim role when they get out of that relationship, right? Oh my God, he was a narcissist. He was abusive. He was, you know, didn't care about me. But you sort of knew that not too long after getting in a relationship with that person, right? Right? So that's what I mean about knowing yourself, setting up boundaries, but also looking at what is really healthy for you and what draws you to the healthy, the toxic individual that might not work for you now. It's, you know, the girls, right? They want that bad boy. But there's a difference between that bad boy and someone that can have respect for themselves, that can put their foot down and not, excuse me, not be a doormat, not be a people pleaser, right? That's different than someone being a total a-hole and having narcissistic tendencies. And that goes for women too, men and women, okay? So that's part of learning from the past and learning at, yeah, I really like this, but oh my God, this guy's a jerk, this guy's whatever. And I hear a lot of people, they'll fall into the victim mentality and the victim role down the road. Oh my God, he was this. Well, was he always that way? Yeah, he was. Oh, let me guess. You thought it would change, and something that you were drawn to, man, made you hot, turned you on. All of a sudden now, you get me? What changed? So that's where I want you to think about when going from a breakup, a relationship, breakup or a divorce, that type of situation, and looking at, what are you drawn to? Why are you drawn to that? We might not even know why. It's a vibe, right? But man, I'm going to make that bad boy. I'm going to make that narcissistic change. I'm going to make him, he's an a-hole. And all of a sudden, I'm going to make him a good guy, right? Potential. I want you to be smarter than that, okay? And that's where I want you to listen to your gut instinct. And I want the heart and the gut to align, okay? So that's where I want people to be as. And another thing, right before I let everybody go, is be yourself, okay? A lot of people will look at, maybe I wasn't myself with my ex, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, right? I wasn't myself. Well, number one is, who is yourself, right? What do you like? What don't you like? And this is also maybe a piggyback on, what do you want? What don't you want that I talked about earlier, about yourself. Maybe you're nerdy, corny. Maybe you love sports. Maybe you love art. You love animals. And you're trying, I don't love animals that much because you want to attract that other person. Be yourself. Be authentic. But if yourself is mean, judgmental, biased, that you're still hurt and condescending, I want everything my way, don't be yourself. No, I'm laughing. I'm joking. I want you to be able to work on that. But I want you comfortable in your own skin, that you don't have to pretend to be somebody that you're not to attract somebody. You get me? That's fraudulent. That's dishonest. And it's not being true to yourself, okay? Remember, self-love and self-respect, they're crucial. They're important, okay? So, going through a breakup, a divorce, it's heartbreaking. I get that for a lot of people. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I can't wait to be out of that relationship. Everybody's different, right? It's looking at where are you at and emotionally ready, available, and you know yourself more. You're able to speak what you like, what you don't want. In a relationship, all facets, and I'm talking, maybe you're looking at how you want to be treated, maybe what a partnership looks like I talked about, even sex, if it's important to you, not important to you. And people don't talk about that until maybe, they've been seeing each other a couple months. And I'm like, why? Because if you're not compatible, you're wasting each other's time. Or she'll be more like this. He'll be more like this. He'll be okay with this. She'll be okay with that. Don't do that. And that's what sets you up for failure. Okay? So, follow me, like me, every social media platform. I'd be very flattered, very humbled. At LoveGuruGreg. You can check out my website. I do have gear out there. Love intentionally. Stop hate. Check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. I do have a few self-help courses as well that you can check out as well. Healing after an affair, reigniting your relationship or marriage, and a premarital course as well. So check those out, theartofrelationships.org. And again, thank you so much for, taking your time to listen and watch the show. Share it on your timeline. I want to help as many people out there. That's my passion, okay? So everybody have a good night, good day, good Wednesday. Peace.